Okay, everybody, it's me. Here we go. Post market wrap up. What is today? Wednesday, May 24th, 2023. People, thanks for being here. All of you, all my friends are here, and I appreciate that. You know, before we even start talking about the market today, I want to cover a few things here. We got some interesting news, a whole bunch of it actually. So J.P. Morgan, the Wall Street mega super bank, they're telling people, they're telling their clients right now to limit exposure to the stock market and increase exposure to gold and something else. Do you know what the other thing might be? Any guesses? Let's see if we can get a few guesses here. So again, JP Morgan is saying limit exposure to stocks, gain exposure to gold, not silver, no, but a good guess. Crude oil. Crude oil. Goldman Sachs is saying crude oil is going to move higher, maybe much higher. Who does that sound like moving forward? I mean, it's just a no-brainer here, people. Energy, crude oil, commodities, that's where to be. And you know that if you've been following this blog. Thanks, Mitch. Bugs, yeah, bugs too. Invest in bugs. So that's kind of interesting in my view here. So JP Morgan, limit exposure to stocks. What do you think? Do you think they know something we don't hear? Looking at that 10-year yield today, and then gain exposure to gold and crude oil. But silver to me is still where it's at. I mean, honestly, people look at a few things: Dow gold ratio, gold silver ratio. Just do the math. It's really simple. Um, Now, with that, we got an interesting take on a possible debt default here. Most people don't believe it's going to happen. It may not happen. However, the Federal Reserve is prepared. The Federal Reserve, are you ready? Is ready to use liquidity tools. What are they talking about? Liquidity tools to mitigate risk here. Okay, so first of all, we know what the Fed's tool is, okay? The Fed's tool is, well, the manipulation of debt, period. So what the Fed is saying here is in the event of a debt default, they're going to pump this market from here until friggin' kingdom come, whenever that might be. So they're telling you they're going to use their trading desk to prop up the stock market. Well, I'm going to say good luck with that because, again, if we let's just throw this out there as a hypothetical. I know a lot of people are like, no way, it's not going to happen. Okay, you know what? Always be prepared for a worst case scenario. Always have the high ground. So let's just say we get a US debt default. Are you watching the bond market? What are we watching here? We're watching the prelude to something much bigger, which would happen. And you know this already, if in fact we would get a debt default. So we're seeing global bonds sell off. Bond yields are rising on the back of that sell-off. The 10-year yield 3.74. Relative strength of the dollar stronger today. Christine, thank you. MMRI 241. I believe the last time I looked at it, we're 9 points away from 250, which is the first line in the sand because we've seen this from experience. But anyway, going back to what we were talking about, I'm saying good luck to the Fed. If in fact there were a debt default, the first thing that's going to happen is bond yields are going to skyrocket. And I mean, boom. That is going to put so much pressure on the stock market. The Fed's going to have to buy it all. They're going to have to get in here and pump hundreds of billions of dollars into it. Let me ask you, when the Fed uses its liquidity tools, it's liquidity. It's liquid. Liquidity. You see, they can't say we're going to buy the market. The Fed can't say they're going to pump the market, they're going to buy it all. They have to use a fancy word, liquidity. You know that. So if in fact the Fed has to get in here and buy the market just to prop it up, that means they have to vastly inflate, which is the goal of every central bank, is to what? Inflate, and then inflate some more. Okay. So what they're not going to tell you here is this is massively inflationary. Christine, you know what? With regard to the bonds here, look, if bond yields are rising as they are, if you're holding a bond now with a coupon that is yielding much less than what is currently out there, well, yeah, of course you're losing money. But I've covered this a million times. I don't like owning debt. I don't have any debt exposure at all. I just think it's a bad place to be. But that's just my opinion, especially in this environment. Look, we always knew people who have been buying debt always knew, at least I think so, that there would be a point where yields would start to rise and that would put them on the losing side. You understand? Of this entire freak show, but that's just the way it goes here. Anyway, so that's what's happening with the Fed. They stand by, ready to use liquidity tools. Liquidity tools. I hate that. Anyway, and the Fed minutes here. Oh, guess what? Fed minutes are saying that the economy is in fact slowing down, and they expect consumer spending to also start to slow even more than it is now. Let's see, we got a money velocity, or the rate at which cash is moving through the economy globally, near or pretty much at the lowest rate we've ever seen in history. But they want to slow it down even more here. Again, what are they doing? They're crushing the economy by killing the consumer, and people are sitting by here doing nothing about it, except you and me. You see, you and me, at least we are raising awareness. You understand? I think it's so true. So, also, a couple of other things here on the economic front. So, auto loan delinquencies are skyrocketing, and that means people are going to have their cars repossessed and all kinds of lovely things. I mean, this is part of the game. This is part of the pressure on the middle class that's going to get much, much worse here. So as part of that, and this is no surprise, rents continue to increase. Look, home affordability is just gone here. It's gone everywhere. The average guy or the average girl cannot afford to buy an averaged price home. Let me ask you, okay, I've covered this before. What is the definition of a bubble? Do you know what the definition of a bubble is? And I'm going to tell you real quick in case you're new here. It's very, very simple, because you hear a lot of talk about, oh, this is in a bubble. Oh, that's in a bubble, whatever. So to me, or to Greg Mannarino, and this is something I kind of just came up with on my own many, many years ago. And I would love to hear from you. Does this make sense? Are you ready for what I'm about to say? Okay. How do we know that real estate or housing is in a bubble right now? When the average guy or the average girl making an average salary cannot afford to buy an average price home, that means the average price home is obviously it's in a bubble. You understand? And that's how you know. And that something's got to give at one particular time. When you have this kind of a situation here, the Fed, central banks around the world, artificially suppressing rates now for well over an entire decade, reinflating a housing bubble, reinflating a stock market bubble. Remember, Goldman Sachs is telling you, no, I'm sorry, JP Morgan is telling you to limit exposure to stocks and buy gold. Oh, made a mistake. Did I say Goldman Sachs before? I meant to say JP Morgan. It doesn't matter. The freaking super bank. And if one speaks, they all speak, whether it's Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, or one of these other freak shows. You know what I'm saying here? They all, come on, people, please. I think we're on the same page here with this here. So the other thing out of the Fed minutes today, oh, they got this one wrong, and they're sorry. They're really sorry for getting this wrong. Are you ready? The Federal Reserve did not expect inflation to continue at its current pace. No, no, no. You see, the Federal Reserve, they've been selling you a lie since day one that by raising rates, oh, yeah, a miracle was going to happen, and eventually inflation was going to go away. No. So they didn't see it coming, that inflation would continue to be rising at the current pace that it is. They didn't see it. It was just not in the cards for them. I'm going to tell you something. This is a lie. Of course they knew. You know how we know for a fact that the Federal Reserve knew that inflation would continue to rise at its current pace? Because we knew it. Okay. And if we knew it, believe me, they knew it too. And they're not done. You think they're done? They're going to pump all this liquidity into the market if, in fact, we have a debt default? Oh, we can't tell you how inflationary that is. Every time any central bank is going to get in here and pump the system, it's inflationary. People are not supposed to know these things. You can't, thank you, Pontus, when you freaking, thanks, Mitch, again. How come investors who seek safety are flooding into because they're insane. This is what we always see. Pontus, when it's the natural reaction is to flee into the dollar. Again, look, we all know, you and me, the game that is going on here. Just look at the Dow gold ratio, gold silver ratio, as I alluded to earlier today, and you will see what I'm talking about here. Very, very, very few people actually own physical silver. Okay, very, very few, or gold for that matter. If you do, consider yourself one of the elite. All right, the richest people are owning this stuff. Central banks are requiring this stuff. You're not supposed to know that, but again, we're on that the right side of this. Now, today, speaking about gold and silver got hit. Okay, on the back of the stronger dollar today, knee-jerk higher, as you alluded to here as well, the rising of the 10-year yield. The market is smelling something. And, again, JP Morgan, limit exposure to the stock market, buy gold, buy crude. I think we're on the same page with this here. So, as I said, gold and silver got hit. Cryptocurrencies got hit pretty hard across the board. The most volatile space on the face of the planet is definitely the crypto space. I think we're pretty much on the same page with all that. Anyway, so that's where we stand here. Is this a surprise to you? A surprise to anybody? People, do me a favor, please. I got 1,250 people watching this. I got 334 thumbs up. We can do better than that. So please, those thumbs up, I can't tell you how valuable they are. It lets, like I said, when YouTube sees that people like the video, they get it out there. All right. So it's up to you. Again, this is not just Greg's thing. This is our thing. You don't want to get it out there. That's fine. You don't think it's worthwhile. That's okay too. If you feel like it's worthwhile, please, that thumbs up is extremely valuable for the algorithms. Let the algorithm see it. Let them share the video so people get this. I hate POA. I hate POA too. Bank of America. I hate all the Wall Street super banks. All these super banks, all of them. They're the enemy here. You think they're on our side here? How about no? None of them are, including, of course, the public enemy number one, which of course is central banks, and I'm mostly referring to the Federal Reserve. Lord Humongous, you're here with us today. We missed you the other day. Yeah. Anyway, people, is a gold ETF good to buy? I'd rather own this. I'd rather own the real thing, people. You know that. I want to have it in my hand. You could buy an exchange traded fund, but it's not real. It's not on the elemental chart. You know what I mean? You want to have something that is on the elemental chart. Does that make sense? It should. Copper gold. How do we spend silver? Who knows what kind of system we're going to have? Well, when this whole, we already understand it's going to be a digital system, but what does that mean with regard to the price of actual money that's been around for thousands of years? You can use it to buy things. If someone wanted to buy, I have one of my race cars up for sale right now. If someone wanted to pay me in silver or gold or even cryptocurrency, I would take it. Or something else. I mean, I don't have to have cash. If we all learned that we don't have to transact in central bank issued notes, we all would be a lot better off here. You don't have to transact in these things. We can work with each other. And you know what? I want that and you want this. So let's transact in gold or silver or platinum or palladium or whatever it might be. Anyway, that's where we're at with this whole thing, people. What else can I tell you? So no surprise to anybody. Please, people, keep your eye, especially right now, on the MMRI. Didn't mean for that to rhyme. 241. Go check it for yourself. There's a link down here in the description of this video. 250 is the line in the sand, the first one. That's what we've seen. Let's see if we hit 250, how the market reacts to that. It probably won't be pretty. Joey Sox, why is the dollar strong? Okay, Joey, I hope, let's clarify what you're talking about, Joey. All right. Comparative strength, relative strength. Yes, and this is no surprise to anybody. The dollar is the prettiest bell at the bowl. That brings up something else I forgot to say. So the IMF is saying that the US dollar will remain the world reserve currency for the foreseeable future. I've said the same thing. It's going to be like that. Okay. So on a comparative basis, Joey, or anybody else who's asking, that's why we're seeing this. If you compare the dollar to other currencies, but on an absolute basis, It's dissolving. It's losing its purchasing power, just like every other central bank issued note collectively. And that's why we are seeing inflation. You understand? It should be pretty simple to get. Um, XRP, absolutely, people. These things, look, I'm not pushing cryptos on anyone, and the space is not for everyone. You gotta have, you gotta be willing to accept 80% swings to the upside and to the downside. Okay, that's a fact. If you're gonna get into, thank you, Joey, on these kinds of things here. But in my opinion, and you're all entitled to your own, it can't possibly hurt to have exposure to cryptocurrencies, a cryptocurrency. Do your own research on these things. What do I tell people all the time? Pick one. You want to pick one? I'm not saying this is my favorite. It's just the one that everybody knows. It's the mommy, okay? Bitcoin, okay? The Bitcoin is very easily attainable. Some of these things like XRP is not that easily attainable right now. Steve, you're entitled to your opinion on that. Absolutely. In your opinion, it's dog poo, and that's all well and good. You're totally entitled to that. Whatever. Your opinion could disagree with mine, and we'll see who plays out to be correct over time. My bet is on me, but that's besides the point. MMRI is at 420. Yeah. Is it really at 420? Yeah, I thought it was about that. Anyway, the earth is flat. Congratulations on that too. All right, people, I'm going to call this video here. We're at almost 17 minutes. We're doing okay. 645 thumbs up. It's doable. We really could use 800. At 800, I think it sets off the algorithms, and I say, hey, people like it. So if we could just squeeze out a few more thumbs up, I'd greatly appreciate that. Wally, crypto is like playing roulette. Your life is like playing roulette. Do you think the next minute is guaranteed to you? How about no? Okay, it's not guaranteed to anybody. Life, love, happiness is not guaranteed to anyone. Okay, so cryptos, the markets, the value of your dollar or whatever else, it's all a crapshoot, man. Get used to it. There's nothing. One thing that is certain in life: death. How's that? It's the truth, people. Yeah, and the Fed. Oh man, people. The only way we can win, to everyone who's listening all over this world, take action. Thank you. Is to take down these organizations. They have us by the throat. That pressure that you're feeling on your throat, on your chest, on your brain, that's central banks. They run it all. They run the show. I don't care who's running for president. I don't care who kings, queens, monarchs, or dictators. They don't run a damn thing. That's all just a sitcom for people to have hope in something. No, it's central banks running the entire show. And that's it. Once people get hip to that, the better off everyone's going to be. Anyway, yeah. Resist them with every atom of your being. I am absolutely on board with that. Awaken Jake. Thank you for that. It's so true. I don't know, people. We got each other. And that, to me, that's the most important thing. We have each other. No matter what they do, no matter what they want to throw at us, it don't matter. We're sitting here. We understand what we're doing, I think, for the most part. All right. Are we always going to be right? No. It's impossible. But if we can stay on the right side of this for the most part, we're going to kill it. And what does that entail? Loving each other, caring about each other, being charitable, getting together with like-minded people. Always be prepared for a worst-case scenario. Always be prepared for a worst-case scenario in anything in life. And you're going to be just A-okay. All right, people, look, I got to end. This is 19 minutes here. Thank you all. We're just about at 800. We got 1,438 people watching, 788 thumbs up. Thank you all. I think we can make 800 by the time I close this. Come on, we can do it. We get 10 more, 790. Come on, let's do it. I like Coinbase, just going over some of these questions. Lord Humongous, if I could be president, the changes I would make. Oh man, I really would. I don't think they would ever let a guy like me have any office, honestly. It's crazy. Tide Pod time. Thank you. Whoa, 849 thumbs up. You guys are the best, man. Where is SPY going? We'll see, man. The last trade didn't work out too well for me. That's life. I'm not bitching about it. That's trading. That's what we do. We got to get back. How's the CUDA? The CUDA, it's still apart. Got the transmission out. I'm working on a couple of things right now with regard to that. Satellite phones. Yeah, I know they're issuing satellite phones to members of Congress. Is that actually true? Because people keep writing to me. What do I think about it? What do I think about it? Well, they're making sure they're prepared. Well, maybe we should be prepared too. Don't you think? Anyway, all right, people, look, I love you a lot. I mean that from the heart. Thank you. Thank you for the thumbs up. It's so important. Like I said, this is our thing. This isn't just Greg's thing. All right. It's so important. See you in the morning. We will reconvene. It's going to be lovely as always. Thanks for being here. All right.